What's going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to another episode of the Legion of Comic Correction, where we talk about all things comic books. Christmas came early this year. Christmas came early, man. Spider-Man, No Way Home.
That's
Man,
right.
I have not been able to stop smiling since I have a hard time stopping smiling anyway, but
I am a Spider-Man fan. I didn't stop smiling.
That is true.
it was I didn't even care that we were out till 1:30 in the morning.
It was so late.
So late.
It was so late.
On a school
Lord.
night.
On a school
On
night.
a school night.
I drank
Right.
2 Reigns that day, and
Didn't feel any of it?
no, I didn't. And the next day, I drank 2 Reigns too.
Oh,
I got halfway through the day, and I'm like, why am I so tired? And then I was like,
And you're like,
oh, that's
yeah.
right. I didn't sleep at all.
Spider-Man.
I got 3 hours of sleep. They had to come in here and work.
Yeah.
Man, but it
Before
was
we
worth it. It was
before we
worth
move
it.
on,
I think we
here.
need to hit that and
Before we
one more
move on.
thing. Spoilers.
Spoilers
Oh, yeah,
are
yeah.
gonna be
Spoilers
rampant.
All
Get out of here if
all
you
over
haven't
the
seen
place.
it.
There's
The
a spoiler
place.
over there. There's a spoiler
here,
over there.
Spoiler
There's
up there.
the spoiler right
spoiler
here.
back here.
Spoiler right here.
Oh, this is the best one. Like
Yeah.
and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Click that
Do
bell so that you get notifications
Just
on
do
all
it
our
now.
latest episodes, because we talk about all kinds of cool stuff, not just Spider-Man, though Spider-Man is the coolest.
What?
And Greg gets muted.
Greg muted for all of the Spider-Man No Way Home episode. Go ahead, try and talk. Go ahead. That's what happens. That's what happens when Batman is on the scene. Don't make him put his side
I'll put my
blades
side
back
blades
on.
back on.
That episode hasn't happened yet.
It did now.
It did now.
filming this
I'm
in
from
order.
the past and the future.
and
I'm the one who toes the line of light
Well,
and day.
As
and
of
night, whatever.
right now, as of right now, Spider-Man.
Irregardlessly.
Irregardlessly.
So like and subscribe. Click the links down below. They go all kinds of places, including our Patreon if you want extra
Yep.
content, and our website, which has an awesome store where you can get sweet merch. I'm not wearing it right now. Like that hat?
Merch
I got
it
it.
up.
I
Sweet
got
merch
it.
like
He
that
got
hat. Sweet merch like other things that we wear in other episodes because we
That's
wear
right.
them all the time.
Democracy
Oh,
manifest.
baby.
Yeah. Also, be on the lookout in the new year, new merch. There's going to be new stuff coming out
That's
in the
right.
month
Some
of
exciting
January.
stuff. I have been waiting for some of this
Yeah, there's a
merch
few things we've been waiting to
forever.
drop for
Cannot wait.
Says a guy that doesn't do any of the work to get it out there.
No.
Can you guys hurry up, please?
He gets
Yeah.
you know what he does? He gets excited.
I get
We
real
need that.
excited.
We need
I get real
excited
excited.
people.
It's funny. Someone that we went and saw the movie with asked me, "What does Logan do exactly?"
Oh, I
said,
just
well,
yell.
he kind of just yells. He's
Just
like,
yells
"That's
at
it."
things.
Just yells.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
And I get excited. I'm
Yeah.
the hype
Yeah.
man of the group.
We need that.
I'm just the hype man.
We need
That's
that.
all I am.
You're also the dark side.
Oh, very much so.
So
I
we
bring
need-
the
we need that
villains.
too.
Yeah, you got to have. I mean,
You gotta have both.
got to have both.
Gotta
Got
have
to have both
both.
perspectives. And I'm the negative one.
Well, that
Sometimes
kind
you're
of goes
positive.
with the dark side.
I don't
whatever.
know. Palpatine was pretty positive. Positive he was going to rule,
That's true.
and then he failed.
All right.
All
So
right, let's talk about
No Way
Spider-Man.
Home.
We're going to do a comic book review here, so we'll do a correction or a perfection. We'll talk about
That's
that.
right.
10 out of 10.
It's not that
all
hard
the-
to figure out.
No, not that
No.
hard. But we're going to talk about...
Hey, wait. Spoiler. It's gonna be a perfection.
That's true. Yeah. But
Don't
we
look
gotta
now.
talk about, we want to talk about the things we liked.
Yes.
The stuff we liked. So we're going to talk about
There's
the
a
Carnage
lot
Report.
to like. There's very little to not like.
We're gonna
Buckle
do
up for
our-
this
coming
one.
from me.
We're going to do our comic correction where we review the movie, and then we'll do our verdict, and I'll talk about what we liked and didn't like and whether or not we think it, well, the reason why we say it's perfection. So let's
That's
jump right in.
Carnage Report.
All right, so Carnage Report, as always, we talk about how much the movie cost, how much the
Chainsaws.
movie made. We talk about who's in the movie,
Yep.
and then we talk about some source material as well, so that we kind of know where they're coming from. There is some direct source material, but not a huge amount. A lot of it is just based off of where the MCU has been going in the multiverse. But there is comic books out
day.
there.
I would say
Yeah.
I'll have one other thing for source material when we get there, but let's jump in.
All right, let's jump into it. So let's start with our money. So first of all, it was a $200 million budget. So
Which is insane.
yeah,
I'm actually amazed that
I
it was
thought
that
it would be
low.
more.
I
Yeah.
was.
I'm
at
pretty
least
sure
The effects were
Amazing
incredible.
Spider-Man 2
yeah.
was at least 200 to 250.
That's a really
I think it
good.
was.
That's a really good comparison. We definitely need to know that.
What?
Amazing Spider-Man.
I think that's
2
what Greg
cost
said last time.
compared to this.
No,
Yeah.
it was the exact same. It was
Exactly.
$200 million.
How did they make
They got way better.
this for the
Wait,
same price
Way better.
years later?
Did someone do something for free here?
Yeah,
No,
no,
the
somebody
technology's
really
gotten
botched
better.
it.
The
Somebody
technology's
really
gotten better.
botched Amazing
No, that was-
Spider-Man 2.
No. I would say I don't want to
Went into
yell
all
at them for
Mark
that.
Webb's
So,
pockets,
oh no,
apparently.
hold on. This is giving me this. This is Spider-Man 2. Why isn't that
Spider-Man 2 was also $200 million.
Spider-Man 2.
Well,
which, that
that's
does
like the best
make
one
sense.
out
That
of the
is-
tugboat
that is-
Tobes.
Amazing Spider-Man was $230
$30
million.
million.
Okay.
It still makes no
it's
sense
because-
money-wise.
It's because they were a better. This is a better company. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they know
sure.
how to streamline
Sure.
everything. They know how to make everything great, and they
Yeah.
did it. They probably wasted
Probably
a good amount of money
the vast
in
majority of the
Spider-Man.
things that they would send
Amazing.
out of house on like the Amazing Spider-Man,
They didn't have.
they did in
maybe.
house with Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right, so its budget was $200 million. It had the second greatest domestic opening release with $260.1 million.
No big deal.
The only one that was better was Endgame.
No
End-
surprise there.
Endgame,
No surprise
yeah.
there.
Endgame made over $300 million, so they made a bunch.
Yeah.
Still impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then it's the third greatest worldwide opening weekend with $600.9 million.
So what was the first one?
The first one
Oh.
Was Endgame. The
Oh,
second
oh.
one was
Infinity
Infinity War,
War,
and the
yeah.
third
Yeah,
one
come
was Spider-Man No Way Home.
All
so
makes sense.
MCU's
All makes
just
sense.
taken over.
MCU's just stacking
Here's-
them on.
So I mentioned a stat that you guys I wanted to throw on you here. Here's a little idea of what the competition looked like.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
good.
second highest movie for opening weekend or for the weekend box office this past weekend was Nightmare Alley. That new Guillermo del Toro movie with Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Oh.
You mean
It's
you mean
up.
Bradley Cooper's demise?
Right. Well, it's up. It's been in the talks for Oscar nominations, things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can we
Okay.
guess how much it made?
How much? What do you think?
I'm going to say
I'll take a guess.
13 million.
Okay, 13 million. What do you think?
32.
32 million. It made 2.9 million
Holy cow.
because everyone went to see Spider-Man.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
nobody went to see it.
Didn't that
like, that's
and
terrible.
Who was
what was the
putting-
other
That
one that came
stinks.
out this
It's
past
probably-
weekend?
It's probably a good movie.
There was another movie that came out
I
this
don't
past
remember.
weekend. Crap, what was it?
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
because
No.
it wasn't
It was
Spider-Man.
one that was
Ding,
like
ding,
it
ding.
would have been.
Would have been decent. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't know.
remember. But regardless,
That is
that was
that
the
is
second.
pretty crazy.
That was the second highest.
It's gonna
That
bother
is
me
sad.
now that I don't remember what it was because I heard it on the radio this morning and I was like,
Oh, look it up
I
while
was
we're
like,
going
they're
through.
idiots. Why did they put that out the same weekend?
Well,
Yeah.
that's
You
really the
can't-
question
you
is
can't
why
put
would
out-
anybody be putting
Whose
anything
job was
out
that to be
there.
like, let's put it out on this weekend? No one's
Right.
like,
Yeah, you can't.
something else is happening that
Especially-
weekend.
You can't do
And
it.
guess
So-
what? They all went to see Spider-Man.
Right, especially an
Why not?
Oscar contender.
Yeah.
Why would you ever put that out at the same time
don't
as this
know.
movie?
Idiots.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
The
know.
lots of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really not smart.
Because even if it's not like an amazing MCU movie, it's an MCU movie.
Still
is
gonna make
still
more
a
money.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's still going to
Yeah.
pull
Yep.
more people.
So,
yeah.
so
All
we
right.
were talking about the
Yes.
cast.
So the
Let's
cast.
look at the cast.
Yes, and this would have definitely jumped that budget up. So Tom Holland came back as Peter Parker, Zendaya as MJ, Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds, John Favreau as Happy Hogan, Marissa Tomei as May Parker. Those are our like mainstays. that have been here.
Tomei.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And then we had some big names come from the other Spider-Man series, right?
Yes, sir.
And from the MCU, we had Benedict Cumberbatch come in for the MCU. We had Benedict Wong come in as Wong as well. And
The
then
Sorcerer Supreme.
the Sorcerer Supreme.
Real nice.
And then we have Jamie Foxx reprising his role as Electro.
That's right.
We have.
Much better. My gosh.
You think he did a better job?
Full
as well?
redemption.
Yeah.
Full redemption.
Yeah, he was-
Anything would have been better.
He was so.
He was awesome.
His
so
suit
much
was
better.
cool. I like the suit.
So, oh,
'Cause
yes.
I want to
Yes,
look at
with
it.
the
I didn't
R3
look at it
actor.
more, but it. I wanted to see if he was wearing like lineman boots or like. Lineman,
yeah,
like
maybe he
hooks,
was.
like the gaffs
He
he
was.
put on.
What was
you
he
gotta
wearing? He
check
was
that out for
wearing.
the
He was wearing like a harness kind
They
of.
gave him.
but like
Yeah.
It was he got it from he got because when he first appeared it was all electric. He was all electricity, and then he
right.
came back to and there was like electrical. It was some
Line
kind of
gear.
maintenance truck
Yeah.
that was there, and he took the
Yeah,
gear
yeah.
from
That's
there.
just like you have FR rain gear.
right.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So
Yeah.
he was in it.
Is anyone going to mention that I'm naked?
Dude,
That was so funny.
so great.
Great
The
line.
humor in this movie was like
Spot
spot
on.
on. Like
Yeah.
not too much,
Nope.
not too little,
Yep.
but perfect.
You're not going to mention my man?
I was waiting for you guys to
Not
keep
gonna
talking.
mention my man.
You guys kept talking. I wanted to wait until you guys finished
Not
talking.
gonna mention my man.
I was saving. Listen, I was saving him for last.
Okay.
Like
was thinking
last or like
Last, or what are you doing here?
because there
No,
needs to be a
last
last.
No,
What are you doing
no,
here?
I have a better last. But
Well, okay.
he's the last of the villains.
Okay.
You'll hear it. All right. So we have Rhys Ifans as Kirk Connors. coming
Strictly
as Kirk
back for the
Connors
money.
from The Amazing Spider-Man. we have Alfred Molina.
I'm here to be relevant.
Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, again,
Yes,
reprising
sir.
from Spider-Man 2. Then we have Willem Dafoe coming back as Norman Osborn. Oh, my goodness.
My man.
Yep.
My man.
Yep.
And so
Day.
the last thing I need to add there on him before
him.
we move anything on,
Yeah.
his contract negotiations to return. This man is over
Wonderful.
60 years old, mind
Yep.
you.
66?
66, I think.
He was
65,
born
65,
in
66.
60 probably.
He negotiated.
1955 he was born.
So 66.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
gonna be,
Yeah.
Who
He's
does
gonna
the
be-
quick
yeah,
math
yeah,
now?
he's gonna be
66.
66. He'll be
But-
67 in July.
But amazing. His contract
Yeah.
negotiations, he required that he do all of his own
He's a
stunt
beast.
work. He's
Yeah.
a
beast,
monster.
bro.
A
Love it.
monster.
I love
He
it.
made the he was a heavy percentage of making that movie.
Oh, very much so.
Oh, yeah. and
Very
they-
much
Well,
so.
and they leaned into it. They knew, and we'll talk about this more in the review.
Yeah.
But they,
Oh, he's the
they knew
nostalgia.
he was, well, and
Yeah.
he was the lead villain. He
Oh,
had to be.
out of
He
all
had to-
Spider-Man,
had
yes,
to
ever.
be.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
not only in the comics.
Not only, yeah, exactly. Not only in
But
the comics, but in
Willem
every
Dafoe?
single Spider-Man movie ever made. Ever.
He's the best villain.
He was
Best
the
villain.
best. All right,
Period.
so
He's the
those,
best.
those are all our
Alright.
villains.
Never gonna let you down.
I can't even finish it. Because Logan was just all in.
I was in.
He's
I
always
knew where you
all
were
in.
going, my man.
Well, we just talked about
He's the
Willem
hype
Dafoe,
man.
so he's
Yeah.
all in.
all in.
I would be too. I mean, I am. I'm just not all.
Who
into
is
the
your
duets.
last? Who's the,
Yeah,
the bell
baby.
ringer
I'm
on top?
getting
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
baby.
Oh, I know where you're
Getting there.
going.
All right, and then,
Oh my
and then we
gosh.
had. So we
This is why I like villains better.
We knew about
Now to
most
go
of
on
those
this.
people. We
Yeah.
knew about most of those people from the trailers, right? But then we also have some Spider-Man come in.
Yes.
So Andrew Garfield comes in as Amazing Spider-Man.
That's
Yes.
literally what
He was great.
That's
Yeah.
what the theater sounded like.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, every
Yeah,
single
dude.
time.
Every time someone came in.
That
Every
is one
time.
thing.
That's true.
I have never clapped so much in a movie.
I don't think I have either.
It's that people just
I-
cheered and
Yeah,
cheered.
I just don't. I don't understand clapping at a movie. They're not here.
They're
to
not-
hear
yeah.
you,
I don't care.
But people
I don't
do.
care.
don't
I-
care.
I'm clapping.
He will hear me.
Yes.
I'm clapping if we clap loud.
Hear
enough.
the thunderous roar.
You know what? Here's the deal. This last guy, I bet you he was in as many movie theaters as he could be in. And
Yeah,
wanted
sure.
to hear as much of this applause
Probably.
as possible.
Probably.
So the top of the top, we had
Creme de la creme.
Tobey Maguire. Come back.
This was me.
Let's
Let's go, baby.
Man, the Tobes. He's so good.
Tugboat tubes.
He's so
honestly,
good.
honestly,
Everything about him.
amazing.
Complaining about his back.
I couldn't believe
Got it.
the
the
way he
best.
came back.
That-
How is here's
Can
the
we
thing.
just say that
this man
scene-
can only act Spider-Man apparently because
He's great.
he was phenomenal.
He's great.
His acting was phenomenal.
You know
he
who
had
else
the
he can
right
act?
emotional beats,
You know who
but he
else he can
can't
act?
act in anything
No,
else.
no.
Great Gatsby,
What?
right?
Little kid in Back to the Future 2 making fun of Marty McFly for playing video games.
Wasn't he in like Boss Baby or something like that?
He is the
He
narrator.
is
in Boss
the
Baby.
narrator
Yeah,
in
okay.
Boss
Yeah,
Baby.
but he was not good.
Yeah.
He was good in anyway.
Move on.
Can we just remember the fact that the scene where Andrew Garfield cracks Tobey Maguire's back went on for way too long?
That was so weird. That actually was an
It's like, oh, yeah,
incredibly
just like-
weird moment.
It's like what?
It's like,
loved
how
it,
did
though.
that?
I
not-
loved it
How
too.
did that
It
make
was
it off
amazing.
the cutting room floor?
He's like, you gotta do that. Yeah, just he's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Oh
understand.
yeah, that was it. But it's just Peter Parker's being Peter Parker's broing
That's
it up.
true.
He
That
just
is
said,
very
you looked
true.
at him, he said, "Trust him, bro."
He did.
did.
Well, no.
And
What
then
he
he cracked
did
his
was
back.
he was like,
cracked
I
his
always
back.
wanted to have brothers.
Yeah.
Right. I love that, man.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew
We've
Garfield
talked
was
about-
like the most emotional Spider-Man I've ever
Well, he's a
seen.
Hollister model. We've
Yeah.
talked about the fact that for the most part, we like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Mans.
Yes.
Like, we like
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But I think they shone extra brightly in this movie.
Yep.
They were written really well.
They were.
They got to do all the great stuff, like arguing
Andrew
over who's,
Garfield
who's
cried the
Spider-Man
entire
1, 2, and
movie.
3.
Yeah.
That man cried
See,
the entire movie.
It was good though, because he was
Yeah.
broken from the like. It was
He
good.
really was. I mean,
It was good.
the the pieces around where he got to talk about what happened after he tried returning.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was the biggest emotional
Yes.
piece for him.
I was talking today.
Not even the
Gwen
not
death
even
kind of
the
thing.
yep.
Yeah.
Not even saving Zendaya, but
was
just
great, though.
like
That was
it was
so
great. It was great, but his
That was so good.
explanation.
Not there yet.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Let's
keep
wrap
going.
up the Carnage here.
Carnage.
Source material. So what were you gonna say?
I was going to say the source material that I think is missed. We often go to the comics, but like the source material here is the previous Spider-Mans.
Agreed.
Like we got
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
actually
agreed.
there was
For
so,
a third of the movie.
for a third
Yeah.
of the movie.
Yeah, for a
Agreed.
There was so much brought
Yeah.
in and either corrected
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
just like hit on for nostalgia
Yeah.
from the previous
Or fleshed out.
Spider-Mans or fleshed out.
Yeah.
It was so good to see that
Yeah.
because there's so many
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rarity you get to have an opportunity where a movie gets to do a retcon basically to fix things
Yeah.
that were so poor from other movies.
Yeah.
This is
They said it couldn't be
groundbreaking.
done.
They said
Right.
it couldn't be
Right.
done.
Right.
And
Exactly
Kevin
right.
Feige said,
And they
bet.
and he
Multiverse. Multiverse.
He fixed things
Multiverse.
about those movies.
Yeah.
That
So
now
you would
it's like,
say that
now you're like
he fixed things with time travel.
No, he fixed things with
no.
he fixed things
No,
with
with magic.
interdimensional
He
interdimensional
fixed
tampering.
things with
Interesting.
magic.
Interdimensional tampering.
And I still
Some
hate-
science would say
Yeah.
that's
Magic.
Time travel.
Time travel.
I know some would
So,
say
yeah.
that, and some of those people would be me.
Wait, so are you saying you like this part of it?
So it sounds like Logan
No.
likes time
You're saying
travel.
you actually like this part.
No,
Logan likes time travel.
I hate time travel.
New shirt. Logan likes time
Logan
travel.
likes time travel.
Making it. I'm gonna wear
And
it.
then it's just gonna be
We're
Spider-Man's
not
face.
gonna, we're not gonna sell it on the store.
With, like-
I'm
with,
just
like-
gonna wear it.
Hear
all
hear
the
what
time.
I was saying. They're technically not time traveling because they're not. They were
Every
going
day.
Please
across
explain time
dimensions
travel to
at
me.
the same time.
No, they're not. Yeah, I wouldn't consider this necessarily time travel. I would consider it dimensional tampering.
Would you
Right.
say that they're
Which you
taking
like, Logan,
the old
which is dimensional
Spider-Man
I liked
out
yeah,
of
yeah.
their time and moving them to a different time?
No, they're not. They're
Tell me
at
that
the
didn't
same
happen.
Time.
It's the same time.
It's the
Not the
same
same time.
time,
Just
but
different
moving
universe.
across
Wrong.
dimensions, moving across universes at the same
All
time.
right. Well, let's move on to the
That's
Because
the
they
thing.
didn't go back
Is
and
time
fix them.
travel
They
and
restored
quantum leaping
It's dimensional
between
travel.
universes
So let me explain something.
they're on the same line, brother.
Let me give the right example.
Like
Okay. So
peanut butter and
Gwen
jelly.
dying was the way that they made Gwen die in The Amazing Spider-Man 2
Yeah.
sucked. Okay? I didn't think it was very good at
You
all.
are jumping. What are you doing? You're jumping through the whole movie.
I'm talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, he's saying Gwen dying, but how are you gonna?
How does that have to do with
wrap that
source
into-
material right now?
What I'm saying is that not being good actually is made good because we get to see
Because of the source material. So they're
that it
they're
gets
pulling from
restored.
that source material.
Okay.
So
and
they're
then-
pulling from that
Yeah.
source material
Yeah.
and the fact that it's bad and fixing it with
fixing
a
it.
future
Yeah.
event
Well, I mean,
that then goes back.
if you're gonna say
and
that, you have
makes
to
that
pull like the whole
good.
movie in, and then pretty much
I'm
you're
just
starting
saying,
at
it's
the
very,
end.
it's
Sure.
very weird, but
Once
I
again,
just liked it.
Yeah, I
Starting
like
at
that
the end.
too. Yeah. It's good though. You're right though in that the
I'm gonna have a
majority,
seizure over here.
the majority of the please don't. The majority of
You
the
want to turn
of the
your lights
source
on?
material is from the other movies,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the comic source material is more like
Guidelines.
yeah,
You gotta tell me. You gotta hit
It's
us up
interesting.
here. Where are we pulling
more
from
day.
even source material?
Look at the non-Spider-Man dude,
Yeah,
just
man.
pulling out some comics.
My
I actually
man.
read that today.
did you?
I did, and
wanna
I
talk about that?
loved it.
Yeah, it's good.
I thought it was great.
So
Yeah.
So then,
Spider-Man's great.
then
Yeah.
hear it.
My man T, shout out to T. He let me borrow the comic.
Boom.
There you go.
He watched the movie
Thanks,
with us.
TJ.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You should watch more movies with us.
He's like, you did. It was at the table at the break room, and he brought it in so I could read it before this.
Right.
And we were planning on recording another day. Blah blah blah. He's like, you didn't read it, did you? I was like, well, no. He's like, I'm disappointed. I was like, no. Like, we're recording today. I was like, I'm gonna read it. Anyway,
yeah.
it was actually a fantastic comic. I
Yeah.
thought it was great.
So
So
what
what
is
pieces
pulled
from
So pretty
pieces?
much the whole beginning section of the movie was
Okay.
pulled. It's very, very parallel. Very
Okay.
paralleled. Except for something you might enjoy. It's Mephisto. So Mephisto makes a deal with Peter Parker, and what's great
it's different, though.
is that Mephisto doesn't do what he normally does and says like, I want your soul in,
Mm.
as a trade-off.
Right.
Because he's like, I've made too many deals with people like you, aka superheroes.
Okay.
And
they
he's
mess him
like,
up.
that's not what I want. He's
Yep.
like, nothing makes me more happy than a soul in pain. And he's like, what I want is for you to like pretty much like figure out like
That this was a
you pretty much
horrible-
establish what the worst thing could do by me just letting you do what you want.
Ah,
And it's kind of
that's
like
cool.
it's really good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
and so what does he lose? What does
So
Spider-Man lose?
Aunt May dies in the beginning,
Okay.
and then MJ dies, right?
He loses MJ. MJ
Loses
forgets
MJ.
him, and he loses like his
And
marriage.
they
with
give
her,
him like,
Mm.
and he's like in a dream world kind
Yeah.
of in the middle of the comic, and then
Yep.
they like bring in this little girl that like Mephisto. I'm not gonna tell you what that's about. Blah blah. And then there's this kind of like chubbier gamer dude who's a nerd, and then there's this like very successful businessman, and they all have
Interesting.
like pretty much what happens with them is they're all Peter Parkers, but the thing that like the gamer guy said he what happened? He chose to like reflect on his world that he can control, which is like video games and things, and he became a video game developer, and like that's what he became, and he lost. He's like, I'll do anything to get what I lost, which was MJ. And then the businessman, instead of like, you know, with his depression or whatever, the battles, he focused on like science and building things, like kind of like a Osborne.
I'm somewhat of a
And
scientist
then-
myself.
Great. Oh my word. Great line. And then, so then he's like, I
Yeah.
would give anything to get MJ and like my old life back. So pretty much like,
The
Mephisto's kind
commonality.
of almost showing him that like,
Yeah.
you have a good life.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and so there
So-
was a
Did you read
theory out there that
Greg?
I have. I don't think I've read the whole thing.
Okay.
But I've definitely read.
there was a theory
bits
out
of it.
there that, you know, Doctor Strange was acting strange
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
he
He was actually
Mephisto.
Mephisto, but that's just.
But it was
We've been saying everyone's Mephisto.
everyone is Mephisto.
Everybody- anyway,
actually.
So that's
I'm Mephisto.
that's probably the strongest correlation to a source material. The
Right.
rest of it is just you can grab stuff from the Sinister Six and stuff
Sure,
from the
sure.
villains and
But
the
even
origin
then, it's
stories.
not
didn't even get
super-
6 though.
Super.
No,
like,
we didn't, which is fine.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
or did we?
Or did we?
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yeah, well, there's talk about that. We'll talk about that more when we get into it. So, some good source material, some from the comics, mostly from the other movies.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, a pretty unique thing. Made a lot of money, still making a lot of money. We'll
Gonna
figure out how
keep
much it
making
makes.
bank.
Yeah.
It's still
gonna
making bank.
keep
Just the
making
first
bank.
weekend.
I'm going again.
Buckle up.
Well, when does this air? I'm going tonight. Well, this airs on Tuesday, so I'll be out there again on Tuesday night.
There you go.
I'm taking my wife there, so
Cool.
she hasn't seen it yet,
Nice.
and I want to see it again. And now I'm probably gonna go again.
Don't blame you.
My
I'm probably
sister
gonna go again.
texted me on my way
I'll
down
probably go
here,
again.
and she's just like, I was trying to look up something about Spider-Man, and like this is like, and they didn't say spoilers at all. And she's like, I ruined the whole movie for myself. I was
Yeah,
like, well,
you
you could have
can't.
stopped reading.
Don't
You
go on
could have
the
just
internet.
yeah. That's
But that's
a
not who she
real
is,
easy
so-
solution.
Don't
I was
go on
really
the
like
internet.
this.
Oh,
she's like,
oh,
all this.
this
I
might-
knew. She's like, I knew all the Spider-Mans were coming back. That's a no-brainer. I was like, well, yeah. And then she's like, but with the whole thing with what was it that she
The
specifically
Aunt May
said?
death.
No, it wasn't Aunt. Oh, it was the end. How like everyone forgets who Peter Parker is.
Oh,
Ah.
yeah.
And, like,
oh,
Spider-Man.
that's
Yeah.
That's wow.
It's
Whenever
not a super spoiler
rough go.
because it's kind
Still
of like,
pretty
but it is
nasty,
still,
though.
yeah. You would
It's
think like they
tough.
solved it at the end.
It's
Whenever-
a tough part at
Yeah.
the end.
yeah, whenever
I don't know if she knows
these
anything about
kind of
Aunt May, but-
movies come
Yeah.
out, I just I just don't go on the
Go
internet.
dark.
Yeah.
I never
Gotta
on the
go
internet. Yeah,
dark.
completely.
Gotta go complete.
All right, let's talk about our review. All right, so I mean, there's so much that goes on in this
There
movie.
is a lot.
Let's just talk about here. I got two things.
Okay, go ahead.
I also
don't know
have a
how
question.
we're gonna do.
Oh, you have a question as well?
but
All right,
well,
well,
I
here
have
we
a
go.
question to.
direct.
Yeah, I want to give us.
sanity.
I want to give everyone give the ratings, and then I want to
Yes.
say ask a question, see if it changes.
Okay,
Okay, so that'll be during our verdict.
That's fine.
All right, that makes sense. That goes into like how we rate it then.
sure.
So, favorite thing. So the thing that you enjoyed the most about the movie.
No, I'm gonna do this differently.
Wait.
You guys
I've
talk
got a
about
second.
the good things. You guys talk about the good things.
You're talking about the bad things.
I'm gonna talk about the bad things.
Well, I already said when we watched the movie at the end, I said I get to pick.
You get
my-
the one bad thing.
my one bad
I
thing.
know you.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
you have.
for
But
sure.
you're gonna be talking
Well, you
about
gotta
is good
remember,
things.
good things,
No, there are
bad
some
things,
bad things,
balance.
too.
Balance.
Yeah.
Yin
Right.
yang.
So
But
just do
can
that.
Can we also
Yeah.
say what was the thing that surprised you the most in it?
Okay.
'Cause I
can
know
do
we
that.
came
I'll
in-
do that.
Okay.
I can
Most
do that.
of us came in blind.
Yep.
Like, I
Yep.
didn't know anything was going to happen other
Yep.
than rumors
Wow.
I'd heard. Rumors.
Come
I
on,
mean,
man.
But
See,
like,
that's
I
what
hadn't
my man T
seen
was
anything-
saying at work. He's like, I didn't know that they were gonna bring all three. I was like, yeah, how?
Come
did you?
on.
That
But
would be
I
the
did-
biggest
Come
mistake Marvel
on.
has ever done.
100%. But I knew
Ridiculous.
nothing concrete. I knew
Right.
nothing
Yeah.
actually concrete. So those things
I would have
wouldn't
probably
be.
put $100 on that. They would have. I would have no problem putting $100.
I know
But
nothing
those
concrete.
those wouldn't have been. I didn't. Those wouldn't have been my most surprising things. but I was
Yeah, it's
still,
not that
I was
surprising,
still, I was still thankful that it actually happened.
Okay.
Right? Because we've been disappointed before.
Well, we
Uh,
have.
yeah.
We
I
have
didn't-
been. We have been sold.
So
I
who's
did
looking
not
on the
say-
bright side now?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Well done, Logan.
All right.
I'm skeptical with Spider-Man because I love him so much. All
That's
right,
true.
Harry, why don't you start us
Brandon.
off, man?
Uh,
What was your the
what
most
was your
surprise?
question?
the most
Biggest surprise.
surprising thing that
surprise.
happened in the movie for you?
Well,
Like, what did you not
kind
see
of
coming?
saying.
Oh, I know mine now.
I mean, Daredevil.
Oh,
Charlie
yeah.
Cox coming in.
That was
That's real
big.
good.
I mean,
That
I
was real big.
was-
that is a good
I was just-
choice.
excited
I
that
heard
Kevin
rumors,
Feige they were saying what they were saying. Like if he's coming
Right,
back,
right,
he's
right.
gonna be Daredevil, and that's
Right.
it. And I saw like the fan like clips of and like pictures of people photoshopping, which
Right,
the
right,
fans
right,
are
right.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it
it looks
Putting in
legit.
like it looks. Some might say better than the movie.
Yeah, sure.
But no, not really. But but no,
good, look
Charlie
good.
Cox coming in as Daredevil as the lawyer. Like that's
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm super excited. I said to these guys earlier when off screen and off mic, I said, like for a while I kind of struggled seeing who my favorite character was in the
Right, right,
MCU,
yeah, yeah.
MCU for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's completely solidified and solidified and concrete, it's Daredevil.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's my
he
favorite.
was
so
phenomenal.
good.
So
Catching bricks.
It was a really
man.
cool way
that was,
to
he's
tie
like,
him
I'm a
in.
really good
I'm
lawyer.
a really good
Yeah.
lawyer.
And just one thing to
Oh,
add,
so good. Yeah, of
as
course.
I always add thing about people's looks,
Yeah.
he's looking a little skinny, like thin.
Mm.
Well, you know, I wonder
Because I'm rewatching Daredevil, and he's not like a big guy. Like
No,
I would
but
say
he-
he's kind
he
of
was
like your guys'
built.
He might not
size
have-
he was
built,
built.
He might not have
but like
gotten
he's
into-
kind of like skinny.
But
He might be
was
out of
just a-
shape right
yeah,
now.
it
Yeah.
was. He's not in.
Right, they
Daredevil
probably
might
like,
not
shape.
be in Daredevil shape.
you want to come back? And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he said since they canceled Netflix, he's always been like, if the MCU asks me, I'm there.
Right, he's like
Right.
Henry Cavill with
Yeah,
Superman.
exactly.
Right,
I will
right.
always
Yeah.
don the horns.
Yep.
You know, and so he just probably wasn't in
Oh, so
Daredevil
good.
shape.
Mm.
Yeah.
But he
so
would-
probably
So good.
that would probably be
Yeah.
mine.
That was good. I had read rumors about
Yeah,
him being there.
stipulations,
Listen,
but like
whatever.
who knows?
But
No,
when his
nothing was
face
concrete on
appeared-
him, especially.
No,
I think
when
that
his
was a
face appeared-
huge surprise. Yeah.
And it was like right at the beginning. It was like in like the first
Yeah.
like 20 minutes of the movie. His
Yep.
face appeared. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, because
People clap for that
right
too.
there.
Peter needed a lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
Peter and Happy
And
needed a
Hap-
lawyer.
well, Happy needed a lawyer.
Happy
Peter really did.
especially
They
needed
dropped
a
everything
lawyer.
on Peter.
Yeah.
And
I love,
Ned needed one.
I love
Yeah.
Happy's sleep
Yep.
apnea thing. And
Oh,
when he's
so
sleeping in
good.
the chair. Happy's great.
Yeah,
How about you,
that was
Logan,
good.
man? What was
my
your
biggest
most
surprise.
shock?
Yeah, so my biggest shock. I think that's a really good one. So I'm not gonna just like be like
Bring
ditto.
it back. Yeah.
But what I'm gonna say is Doc Ock turning on the villains at the end
Oh,
and
yeah.
teaming up with the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
To be able to take down Electro. That was probably my biggest shock. And I think the reason why that was a big shock was all of the indicators in the trailers had Doc Ock as the villain. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
they,
So
we
he
knew
was
one of the
front
bigger
and center.
bads.
one of the bigger
Yeah.
bads.
Front and
We
center.
knew he was coming in. And it was super cool to see Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, have to diagnose what was wrong
Yeah, I like
with
that.
him.
Yes.
With
as
all
well.
of them.
With
Yeah.
all of them.
They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
with
yeah.
all
'cause
of
he
them.
has no clue besides Wait, does
No,
he know
none
any?
of
Yeah,
them.
he doesn't know
None
any
of
of
them.
them.
None of them.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
my
I
point
redacted.
with
Yeah.
Doc Ock was always that was such a cool storyline in
in
Spider-Man
Amazing-
2.
in Spider-Man 2. Yeah, yeah,
It was so cool for the thought process that their AI would take over his once the
Conscience,
inhibitor
yeah.
chip was broken
Yeah.
right.
to take over his consciousness.
He was a good guy.
He was a good
Like
guy.
he had a good heart.
And
He was
so,
all about science. He just-
So the scene
yeah, and poetry.
and
the
poetry.
scene where he actually regains his consciousness, that actually is one of the biggest emotional beats
Yeah.
because
I would say, yeah.
he looks at Norman Osborn, and Norman Osborn
just
looks back at
bros.
him, and they're just like,
And
welcome back.
Norman's
like,
in his right
yeah,
mind at that
in his
point.
right
So,
mind. Yeah,
yeah.
he's not the goblin at that
Or
point.
was he?
No, not at that point. I mean, he was really
know.
looking into
Yeah,
him.
I'm not sure, but it.
I mean,
I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
realistically,
I don't like
hold
to-
up, but realistically, we really don't know if he was.
We
or
don't
not.
we're
know.
not sure when
I
he,
wanna
when he switched
believe-
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to believe at that moment it's Norman
Yeah.
Osborn looking
It was a
at-
nice moment.
at him. And so
Yeah, for sure.
you knew at the end, you saw all of
Yeah.
them, all of the villains
Willem Dafoe.
converging.
I know.
You saw them
That's my Willem
converging.
with his eyes.
I know.
I know.
Welcome back.
And you saw a reality where it was like they weren't going to be able to take down Electro
Yeah.
without him.
Yeah.
And he comes in
Yeah.
as a villain and is like, these are mine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then turns and just snags that arc reactor
Yeah, so good.
and helps them to take it down. I don't know if I'm shocked by it, but I think it was my most surprising way for them to turn that storyline.
turn the tide.
I thought it was really cool.
Well, and it goes back to Spider-Man's always been a character of bringing redemption to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this was a chance where he actually got to redeem Otto Octavius, and then
because for the others, there was very few he actually did get to redeem. He may have cured them.
Yeah, he redeemed.
I mean, Sandman. I like that they kept Sandman. Like he's just trying to get back to his kid.
Yeah, he just wants to get back to his kid.
He wants it to be about family.
And Toby
knew that.
Toby redeemed him in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Right.
Spider-Man
he was
3
already
ended
redeemed
with him being like more okay than evil.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
so
good.
that was my surprise.
That's good.
Yeah.
We did actually. There was one moment in the one trailer that was released that looked like Doc Ock was being shot by Elektra. We talked about it in the previous episode.
That's true.
Yeah, that was like the only
I liked
little
you
bit.
when you were. What did you say? I liked you when you were.
I liked you better before. I liked you better
Yeah,
before,
and he
or
shoots
like
him
when
in
you
the
were the
building.
other guy
Well,
or something like that.
In the trailer though, it's him saying, "I won't let you take this away from me," and he shoots, and then if you freeze frame in the explosion, you can see Doc Ock falling out of the explosion.
Right.
So it was like, oh wait, what?
Yeah,
But it was still the fact that he was the kind of linchpin.
Yep, to turn the tide with Electro.
Cool.
Yeah,
super cool. So for me, I mean, those are all really good ones. For me, it was Aunt May dying. Like I did not see it coming.
I could see. I'd agree. I mean, I didn't see it coming, but I thought maybe all the Spider-Man fans kind of did.
No,
I don't know.
but I love what they chose to do.
I think it was the way she died.
I don't know. I just
her allowing herself to die?
No.
Goblin hit her with the.
No, I'm not even talking about that.
Die.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm actually talking about.
She wouldn't have made it. She was impaled. She was like hit by his spikes.
Yeah, but she knew.
We were led to believe in that moment she was
okay. Yeah,
and that's what I'm talking about.
It actually convinced me because when she got hit by the glider, I was like, she did.
She's dead.
And then
because we've seen what happened to
Norman.
Yep. That glider is lethal,
deadly, and then,
legit.
But then she gets up.
Yep.
And like is kind of acting okay, and I'm like, like, okay. And then my first thought was, that's stupid. She should really be hurt.
She should be
that's dumb.
Yeah, and then a grenade goes off next to her.
Right. It's like, well, but he got the grenade away from her.
Yeah, but he also
still,
took a grenade to the
fire.
face, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
he did. Tom Holland
so
took that
like,
right to the face,
right to the chin.
So I thought she was going to make it. And then she didn't, and it was like that was real. I thought that was really good. And looking back on it, is that we don't know how Ben died in Tom Holland's universe.
Right.
We don't know.
That's true.
We know he did.
Yep.
And we know he has his suitcase and everything. He's got a BP suitcase from Far From Home.
Yep.
So we know that he was a character,
right,
and that he did pass away.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know how. And from what it seems like, by the timeline, it seems like he died before he became Spider-Man.
Yep.
Whereas in most of the universe, Ben dies after he's Spider-Man, and it's his fault, right? So it seems like Ben died, and it wasn't Peter's fault. So our Peter never had a Ben moment.
Right.
So he gets to have a May moment.
A May moment.
Which I thought was really, really cool, and I didn't think was going to happen. Like,
I think you're right.
We're on the last one.
Good...
They're not going to have
which
a Ben
kind of
moment.
reflects a little bit the One More Day comic. A little bit.
Yes, agreed.
I mean, that's what it's all about, was
him
trying to redeem. He's like, because like in the comic, they're talking about the doctors, like are saying like, there's no way we can help her. There's nothing that she can do. Blah blah blah. And he actually fights Tony Stark.
Right.
He fights Iron Man, because at this point, Spider-Man is after Civil War. So Spider-Man was on Tony's side, but he did something. He pretty much kept vigilante-ing.
Well,
that's a word coined.
Yeah. So Peter in Civil War, Peter outs himself as Peter Parker. He shares his identity with the world.
Yep.
Because it's supposed to help bring more confidence behind the superheroes behind masks.
From the law.
Right. And then the Thunderbolts come and like literally blow him up. And the
Right.
Punisher drags him into Captain America's camp, and then he ends up joining Cap's side because Tony didn't protect him.
Yep. And so pretty much he fights Tony. Yeah. And Tony, like, out of like regret and like remorse for him, and Peter was like, she was like a mother to you too, and you were like my father, that, the other. Like, he eventually donated money through Jarvis, pretending to be like her brother. Is weird. He's like acting.
A lot going on there.
Yeah, he was acting to be
Civil War's
family drama.
Yeah, family drama.
Very.
But anyway, so he donates the money. Tony Stark donates the money to help AMA, but they're all like, there's really nothing, even with all this money, there's nothing we could do.
Right.
So Peter's fighting for her to survive. So if she dies, because they're all like, she's an older woman, she's gonna die eventually. That's like Doctor Strange is like, people are meant to die.
Right.
And he's like, sometimes you can't change that.
Right.
And he's like, well, I don't want her to die because of what I've done.
Yeah.
So like that's like the biggest.
Yeah.
Right, and that's a huge theme in this movie, in that Peter's trying to like make sure people don't die because of him.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want Norman to die because of me. I don't want Otto to die because of me. I don't want.
I think there's two parts to that. I think
Strange is like, well, it's their fate to die by Spider-Man, and he's like, I don't want that to happen. He's doing everything he can to give them a second chance.
I don't think it's just that. I think there's also the part where it's like Peter is also trying to control. Like, I don't want other people to be punished for who I am.
Sure.
And for the decisions I make
Well,
and
what
I
the
do.
friends not getting into college and
Like,
stuff.
Peter is in this movie essentially trying to have it all.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and Norman tells him that.
Right.
Yeah.
Norman says like you want everything, and the world is asking you to choose.
Right.
And Norman's giving him the same speech he gave Toby, which is like, we're gods. We don't need to choose. You just take it.
Well,
and Norman literally said that in the movie, this movie too.
Like the other thing,
right, exactly.
We're gods.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I mean, I'm just thinking about this
I like
now.
that.
That was good.
Thank
That was
you.
good. I'm thinking about this just now.
Yeah.
Like, Peter, do you think Peter would have been better off had he not even approached Strange about making?
Well, I mean, this is what brings
casting
what Harry
spell.
said. It's Sasha's fault.
What?
Sasha, you don't remember?
What are you talking about?
Sasha's fault.
Yeah.
So I said this at work. Everyone's like, the same reaction. They're like, what are you talking about?
Where are you going? with
Sasha,
this?
the girl that was supposed to take down the Halloween decorations, and she didn't. And in the donut shop where Zendaya works, and the guy's like, yeah, you need to take these down. She's like, and MJ's like, well, Sasha was supposed to do it. And he's like, yeah, whatever, take them down. Well, those decorations remind Peter Parker that Doctor Strange is around.
Gosh.
Thus, the beginning
Holy cow.
of this problem.
You even said, you were like, those look like Doctor Strange.
Butterfly effect. Yeah.
I think
it's Sasha's
But I'm
fault.
just okay.
I think he would have been better off.
Yeah, and
but
so-
he wouldn't have had the same character growth if those events didn't happen.
Sure, but here's the thing. I hear you on that, but
Yeah.
the reality here then is like, it's exactly like what you had said with the comic. This goes even back to the source material where it's like Peter has to realize that the life that he is upset about, angry about, like not liking, like whatever, is actually better than what he's trying to manipulate or control.
And didn't Strange
which
try
is
and
like
tell him that?
Right.
Yeah.
Strange tried to tell him, like, this is what happens.
Yep.
Right.
This is the messy life of being
And that's
a
something that
superhero.
they jump into in the One More Day.
Yeah,
So
right,
pretty-
right.
And
like
that's
I
what
said,
I'm trying to say is like
He gave-
that harkens back to that even more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess for me, even one of the other big surprises to add another one is just like the ending. The ending of where everybody
Where he has to then give it up.
everybody forgets who he is. Just like Peter
Right,
Parker
not
doesn't
that,
exist.
Not that he's Spider-Man.
Not that he's Spider-Man. Not that
They
like
even
he,
remember
that
May
he
Parker.
has done what he's done.
They
but
remember
just
May
like,
Parker. Like, they remember his whole family.
Right.
They just don't
right.
remember him.
They
He's
don't
just gone.
remember who he is.
Yeah, so he had to give up a lot more.
And
because
so
of
now
his
he,
mistakes.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
because of his choices,
It's a great
he loses
story.
more.
It's a
Right.
great story about
But others,
responsibility.
and then it's like the other side is like,
Yeah,
but
this
then
movie-
others are able to benefit from that.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's really hard. Like
Sacrifice
because
of one benefits the others.
Well,
The
Right.
trolley concept.
But that's life, isn't it, though? Like, what we
That's life.
We look back at life and we're like, man, wouldn't it be so much better if we hadn't made
we're
that
always
choice
trying to
make
control
that.
and manipulate
That was something that
situations
was-
ourselves.
But then those things.
That's why you need to read this comic.
Yeah,
It's a
it's-
good comic. 'Cause
Yeah.
They talk about that too. They talk about
Spider-Man's
Mephisto
legit.
before he reveals he's Mephisto. He's like this, like,
Mephisto. I
kinda
feel like
like,
I'm Mephisto. I think I'm Mephisto.
you don't want to be Mephisto.
I think I'm Mephisto.
Mephisto's like
they go,
the devil.
he's the devil. He's like straight up the devil.
You're
They
not-
show him laughing at people getting
You like the-
tortured in hell.
You like the dark side, but you're not the devil.
No.
You're not.
Crap just got real. No, but they show like
Yeah.
you know, it takes one sentence to change.
Right.
It takes one little thing. It's not the huge things
Yeah.
that happen in your life. It's just
Right.
a step in
the
one
ripple,
direction.
the ripple effect. The
And,
whole
and
stone
in
ripple.
the comic
Yeah.
they show what's the bully's name? Not Butch.
Flash Thompson.
Flash.
Yeah.
I think it's Flash says like, "Hey Parker, look," and it's like him turning at the when they go to the field trip at Osborn.
Right.
With
Where the
and the spider drops down,
right,
and
wouldn't
instead of
have
him like
gotten him.
getting bit on the hand,
Yeah.
it's him turning around and going towards whoever called him, and some lady like squashes the spider. So
He gets bit on the eye.
and he becomes
And
Two
he
Hawk,
dies.
Two Eye.
Two Hawk.
Two
Spider Eye.
Go watch that podcast that we do as well. It's
There you
about the
go.
Hit it
Hawkeye
up.
TV show.
So
yeah,
I
great.
have
So
to.
good. All right, give me some. What didn't you like about
I
it?
didn't.
Wait, can I do mine first?
Wait, but yours is probably. I feel
Wait,
like
are you? Is
feel
yours
like
the
yours
one
is
I
really
think it
good.
is?
I just think
Yours is the one I think it is.
you don't want him to take it from you.
I won't take it.
Yeah,
from
you know what I said.
I know what
I
you-
said at the end of the movie. I was like, I call this.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not
go
taking
ahead.
it.
We're
I'm
gonna
not
let
taking
yours
it.
be
Yeah.
last then.
We're gonna
'cause
simmer on that.
Yep, you
We're
can
gonna
sit
let
on
broil.
it. You
I
can
want
sit
to.
on
I
it.
want to end on yours. What didn't you like?
We wanted or expected
Yeah.
a Sinister Six
Oh yeah,
movie.
that was
Yeah.
We
definitely
didn't
a
get
list
it.
point.
I
We
can see
didn't
that.
get that at all.
Unless
Like,
there's just
yeah.
a secret five and
Sixth
six that we
person?
don't know.
No,
Or
we have five.
six,
We have
six,
five.
six.
Six.
We got
Yeah.
5, but like we had been agonizing
Sure.
before
Yeah.
this
Sure.
over
Yeah.
who is it
You're
going to
right.
be in here.
Yeah. Who's the fifth?
Is it going
Who's
to
the
be?
sixth?
Is
well,
it Mysterio coming back?
Well, think about this. Is it Spider-Man?
I was just about to say
Oh.
that Peter's the sixth.
Tom Holland
He
Spider-Man.
messed it up for
Is he
himself.
I don't
six?
know. That's
No,
such
no.
a cop out.
It's not.
Is it though?
Yes.
Yes.
It's not. But you don't know
Outright.
it until the end of the movie, really.
No,
Outright,
but it
yes.
is. It is a cop
Outright,
out.
yes.
Is a cop out. But
Yes.
so
I don't need to see anything else.
Whatever.
Yes.
I will say that Sony has said that they are working towards, and I not that I want this, but I'm
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
saying this might have influenced the fact that of why it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Sony has been saying that as they do these standalone villain movies, eventually they are going to tie a Spider-Man into their universe, and they're going to use them to make a
So
Sinister Six
I gotta tell you here right now.
I
right
don't
now.
think that's going to be
they're
good.
gonna fail
Oh,
at
100%.
that well before they even get to the opportunity to tie in a Sinister
100%.
Six. They're gonna blow that. They're
but-
gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
That
They are
still,
not good enough.
That still might have influenced why we didn't see one here.
I disagree.
It's
the thing is,
business.
here's
They
my
have-
point, and
They're
here's my
trying
problem.
to hold it. They're trying to hold it.
We are still.
Yeah.
We still don't have a Sinister Six. This
Oh, yeah.
wasn't a Sinister Six.
No, it was a
We
5.
didn't get Vulture in there. We didn't get Mysterio in there. There
I
wasn't
know.
a
The
conjoined
Sinister
effort.
5.
We didn't get a conjoint effort. Even with them at the end in
Yeah.
the final battle, it wasn't
right.
all of them working
It's true.
together against Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We are never going to get it. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, if
saying
if
it right now.
MCU
If
Marvel
we
can't
in
do
the
it,
MCU.
If MCU
Well,
didn't do
oh,
it now,
yeah.
we're not going to get it.
So here's
True.
And that is disappointing and frustrating.
I could agree with that.
here's a maybe. And I know it's a long run. I agree with you, but I still want
It
to.
doesn't take away from the movie. I
No,
want
no, no,
to
no.
name the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
is great.
No, I know.
We all wanted
We all
a
wanted it.
Sinister Six.
Yep.
And we
a
still
tough
want
thing
a
to say.
Sinister Six.
What's with
But
freaking-
because they didn't do it here, it's not going to happen.
Freaking
There's no building towards it.
Stan Lee and his Sinister Six, Otto Octavius, Peter Parker.
I loved
J.
how they all
Jonah
laughed at
Jameson.
it. Your
Oh my
name's
gosh.
Otto Octavius.
Well, no,
and
but
then-
yeah.
but
What?
Stan Lee was known for
Oh
doing
yeah,
those
alliteration.
doubles,
Right, yes.
right?
The
So
alliteration.
Reed Richards,
Right.
Peter Parker, J. Jonah Jameson, Otto
J.
Octavius.
Oh my gosh.
It's like it.
Talk about bringing
Sinister
someone back.
Six.
yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
but
Coming
what
Peter
back
Parker.
from the-
What I
coming
will
back from
say-
the brink.
Yes.
But out of his basement.
looking like
Us.
Jim Gordon. Jim Gordon when he comes
Yeah.
when he steps out when
Yeah.
they're the scene that May died. He steps out and he's got like the trench coat and
Yeah.
and the fedora
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like are you Dick Tracy or are you
Yeah.
James Gordon?
What are you doing, man?
Jim Gordon. So the only thing, and I know I agree with you that I don't think it's going to happen.
It's not going to happen,
in
man.
this iteration of the Marvel universe. Maybe sometime like 20 years from now it might happen, but like if they reboot
Dude, this is
everything.
They would have to
This is the golden
reboot
age, man.
everything.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know
100% agree.
how they're gonna top this in
But-
even 20 years.
They
Right.
did say
Unless you get to be the star of the movie because of VR.
so
Yeah,
they,
That's
they-
the only way. I
Side
found
blades.
my $1 million
Side
idea.
blades.
you are the
Sideways.
sixth person. You're the sixth person.
You are the sixth
They're
person. Yeah.
No, so they did confirm that they have signed another Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland.
3
in it.
more.
No, but that's 3
It's
more
not
Spider-Man
enough.
movies.
It's not enough to build it.
I know, but it's 3 more Spider-Man movies plus all like he's getting more Avenger movies and more other some more. So it's
Young
like
Avengers, stuff like that.
they could,
I
but
don't.
it's not likely.
not-
I'm just saying
I
that's
don't believe
you have to bring all of
No,
them
no.
back because
Yeah.
those are the heavy hitters
Yeah,
that
that's
are
the
in
problem.
the movie.
And
No,
that's
no,
my
no.
point. So
I know.
hear me out.
I'm not saying no.
We did hear you out.
We did hear you out. I'm not saying that I disagree with you.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
I
give
know.
you more information.
I know, but so
So
if
I
they
don't think
were
it's going
to
to
do
happen.
that,
I'm just saying that they're still building more in this Spider-Man universe.
the thing about it is, if they were to do that, they'd have to introduce each of these characters
From
in
the MCU.
in Tom Holland's
Yes.
Yeah.
universe.
Yep.
Right. So we'd have to get a
Yeah.
new
Electro,
a new
Goblin,
Electro,
Doc Ock,
a new
Lizard.
Doc Ock, a new all of these characters that would have been in it. The only one we have
is
that
Vulture
i-
and Mysterio.
is Vulture and Mysterio.
So that's 2. So you have
So
to
it's
introduce
2.
4.
So they have to introduce
Yeah.
4 and then build towards it. I
Yeah.
mean, could they?
they could.
Could, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's what I was trying to
just
say.
Don't
It's like
think it's gonna.
I don't think
happen.
so either.
Right, but then
And
what would be
Sony
the
is
point
gonna
of this movie?
Blow it.
Right.
They will blow it.
Well,
Yeah,
so
agreed.
I
Agreed.
agree. Sony
Agreed.
could and probably will blow it.
Yeah, but,
But
they're trying.
They're already
Literally,
gonna blow it.
I heard an interview with the CEO of Sony at the premiere of the movie, and he's literally like, Disney and us are, we have a great relationship. We have a
Yeah.
great working relationship. We're on the same page.
because
I'm
Disney
like, okay,
bends
so you
them
pretty
over.
much just want to bank on Disney making you
'Cause
bank.
Disney made them
yeah.
$600 million
Yes.
in 3
Ridiculous.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're not.
I
They're
agree.
dumb. They're
not
bad,
gonna
but they're not
happen,
that
but-
dumb that they're gonna like allow themselves to really put themselves in a hole here.
Sir, I hear you.
I know.
I hear
Sony's
you. But
pretty
I
dumb.
know.
Sony's pretty
they
I know.
also made
dumb.
Carnage.
Sony's pretty dumb. Well, I haven't seen that one yet, so I haven't seen it yet.
I watched the first half.
You watched the
It's
first half?
Real rough.
The first Venom wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
Let's move along here.
All right.
Wasn't good.
That's what I'm
Wasn't
saying.
great.
So that's
But again, it wasn't
that's
like
a
a
major-
tanker. What was your? What
that was a
your-
major frustration for me.
Now dig on this.
That was your.
Redemption for everything
so-
else.
They had s-
Everything else
and
except
even some
They
Toby
really
stuff.
did. They really
They had
did.
redemption for
Yeah,
some
with him
Toby
catching
stuff.
the
Yeah.
glider when
yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Holland was about to murder.
so great.
Oh
Norman.
yeah.
That was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
oh
but
man,
no-
my heart
no
was like,
snap.
"Doo-doo." I was like, wow.
Yeah, and they mentioned the Venom suit. They mentioned the black
Yep.
suit.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they did everything.
Yep.
And like
Yeah,
we
fighting
said,
aliens.
Yeah.
they did. Yeah, I feel sorry.
Garbo,
I
I
want to
wanna
fight
fight
aliens.
aliens.
I just fought some
Oh my
Russian
gosh.
dude in a
that
rhino
was
suit.
that was
Yeah.
that was the whole thing about. No, you're amazing.
Yeah, you're
See,
amazing.
say it.
God.
You have to say
I'm
it. You're
amazing.
amazing.
I
No, I
have-
really needed to hear that right now.
I actually
I love you guys.
I said the wrong surprising thing.
What?
I just thought of a better one.
Okay, tell us again.
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was smart in this one.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
He wore a freaking lab
Yes,
coat.
he wore. Well, that was, and that's the funniest
That's
thing.
what makes you
That was,
smart.
no. I
all
said
it
this
takes.
to him.
He had to do
I
it to make us
tilted
think he was
in
smart. Yeah.
to him as we were watching it. I go, "There's only one of them wearing a lab coat right now, and
Yep.
it was the one who was dumb."
Who's trying to
Yeah.
And
convince
so
them that
he's
he
trying
was
to
smart.
convince us that he's smart in this one. So they put a
Yeah.
lab coat on him.
He was
That
smart,
was
though.
even redemption. The only thing, you're right, Harry, that only thing that got no redemption was Dionys.
emo Spider-Man.
Emo Spider-Man. Why didn't we get any
I
redemption?
don't know. That would have
on
been so good if they just put it in
It would've just been funny.
anywhere.
Yeah.
We at the end of the
Just
movie, we all
something.
were like, yeah. I said like, this is where they didn't get the redemption on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like all of us came up with like great ideas of
Of
where, like
how
you're
they
telling me
could've
no
put it
one
in
around the
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
storyboard was like, maybe we should redeem this thing that was a meme for 5.5 decades.
Maybe they thought it was too ridiculous.
Well,
to be
that's-
honest, like
that's
there
what
was
I'm thinking.
There's
is
no
they
coming
just-
back from
they
that?
just
I
think-
don't think so.
Yeah, maybe.
How do you redeem
or-
that? Where
or-
like
or
Make
were
a
they
joke
thinking
about
this?
it.
Yeah,
No,
I guess
no.
so.
Or were
I
they
get you
thinking this?
could.
How could they top the memes that are out there?
Yeah,
Or,
I
like,
mean,
it's
it
already
almost
super
could
funny.
be.
They
They
could
could
be
almost
more
make
cringy,
it worse.
more cringy than
They
anything.
could
like-
almost add fuel to the fire if they
Yeah.
really tried to do something with
I
it.
really think
And
the
not in a
internet would have
good way.
loved it.
No,
Maybe.
but I
You might
wonder.
be
I
right.
wonder. I wonder
We'll
if
never
the thought.
know.
I wonder if the thought was they'd add fuel to the fire in a bad way by
I
saying.
don't think so.
By saying
I
like,
don't think it's possible.
eh,
You can't get worse than that.
I
No, 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 no,
agree
no.
with you, but
But,
we'll
but-
never know.
like it was it's almost like it was too meta. Like just leave that one. That one's fun. The fans did that. If we do it, it looks like your dad making the joke you made, trying to be cool and hip. You know what I mean? Like I wonder if that's just where their thought process.
I don't
went.
know.
I still would have loved to.
Yeah.
see
But
him
it is
snap.
the one. It is the one redemptive piece that I feel like was missed.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think they could have done it.
yeah.
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 As he dematerialized back to his universe.
You know what was one thing that like obviously I
that would've been
raged
cool.
about
No, that was such
That
a
would have been good.
that
No,
was such a big emotional
I was hoping
beat
they
couldn't
did
do
it
there.
Yeah.
when like when
Yeah.
when they
You had some
healed
really good ones.
when they healed Norman
Yeah.
and like while he was stabbed Tugboat Toby
Yeah.
was stabbed he's like dig on that or like something
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
like something like
The
just
simple
real quick
one?
just simple
The simple one that I had,
yeah
was
Yeah.
like they're in the lab together in that scene when all three are in there, and he like Toby realizes something, and he just turns to the other guy, and he's just like, "Hey, dig on this."
yeah that would have been fine too
That would have been.
and that's so you said you even mentioned
that
it
would have been
that
real
would have been
simple.
the dad joke that like you don't need to hear but
Yeah.
what was Toby Maguire in
He
this
was
whole
the-
movie
He was the dad.
he was
was
the
the
dad
because he's like
was the
he's
dad.
like the 40-year-old Spider-Man
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
finally settled down and has
Yep.
kind of like learned his lessons.
so
Yeah.
perfect
That's true. All right. Before
I mean,
we get
the
to
only
the
thing that could be said here's
Yeah.
the only thing.
yeah.
The only thing that could be said is he was kind of emo, like in the whole thing. He was like he was a really like kind of sad. He
Yeah,
had
maybe.
recovered a little bit.
I think
Yeah.
he was
He had
just more
said
down to
he had
earth
worked
and
things through with
I think he just
MJ.
experienced
less
life.
less of a joke.
It might. But
because
he's not.
sobered.
There was really no jokes that Toby made. He really didn't make any jokes. It seemed like jokes, but he was just really sincere, or it was
Yeah,
very
maybe.
serious. Those were the only things. Even the piece with the
Trying to
Amazing
think.
Spider-Man, it was hilarious,
yeah
but it was sincerity.
The
It wasn't
only-
actually a joke.
Yeah. I was gonna say the
Except
only
for the end
the only jokey thing would have been when he says, "Are you
He's like,
hurting?"
are
He's
you
like,
hurt?
"Yeah."
He's like, yeah.
The only jokey thing was like
But that was sincere.
when
That
they
wasn't
were-
even a
when
joke.
when they were talking about the web.
Yeah, he's like,
Yes.
I did have a blockage
Okay.
one time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you talk about the
Does-
blockage,
Does
he
the
had
web
in
come
there.
out
Right.
of any other?
You're right, but I'm just
areas?
saying.
That's referencing Jack Black's Spider-Man. Don't ever look that up.
But it's serious. Like
Yeah.
even
Parental discretion
Andrew
advised.
Garfield.
That's correct.
He was making jokes at different times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but
He
he was
was
always
but
he
he
was
was
the-
always a joker.
He was always the best
Yeah.
rapport Spider-Man.
But you know,
Yeah.
but Toby joked, like when he's with
Or Spider-Man
Bonesaw in this first Spider-Man, and even
Yep.
and he even joked at
That's who needed to come
he,
back.
He joked
Yes.
at Otto.
Somehow
He joked at
bring back
Doc Ock.
Macho Man Randy
Macho
Savage.
He can be in every movie.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rip.
Well, they could do a Tarkin. Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could, but I
Wait,
don't
you'd
know.
have to bring in Harry
as the body double.
as the body double.
All right, before we get to the verdict, let's talk real quickly about the two stingers. So the first stinger.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I learned something new about the first stinger because
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, because I really don't
well,
have an
listen,
opinion on
I'm
the
a
first
I'm a
singer.
bad comic book fan. Harry's at least seen half of it, but I haven't seen the Carnage movie. At the end of the Carnage movie,
Okay.
the stinger at the end of the Carnage movie. So
Yep.
spoiler on the Carnage movie, in case you care.
You've been warned.
You've been warned.
But who cares?
I'm
At
gonna
the
be
end,
coming around to that
at
one.
the end of the stinger or the end of the Carnage movie, the stinger is Eddie getting transported
Okay.
into the MCU Spider-Man's universe. He appears in Mexico at a bar and he sees Spider-Man being told as the identity, like the thing that Jones
Really?
said. That's the end of the Carnage one. And
Interesting.
so people were like, "What? He's gonna be in, Far From Home or No Way Home? This is
How
crazy."
did I not hear this at all?
I didn't
hear it
either.
at all.
That's
Let's-
hilarious.
You want
That's
to know
'cause
why
the
you
movie-
didn't hear it at all?
bad the
Because
movie
that's
was.
because nobody watched that movie.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nobody watched
That's
that movie.
impressive.
right. So yeah, I didn't even hear
That's
those
why.
rumors.
So bad.
That's why you didn't hear it.
But anyway, so the stinger picks up with him still at that bar,
Yeah.
Right.
which has been like.
Are you
100%
100% that's true?
Yeah.
'Cause how did the internet not like
Yeah.
break?
Let me,
when
I-
it-
yeah, let
Nobody
me double
watched
check.
that movie.
No, that's
dude.
fine. Yeah.
Nobody watched that
But
movie.
anyway, let's see.
The thing about that stinger though was one thing that like we were talking about, not with you guys, I forget what I was talking about, but shouldn't have when Eddie got snapped back or whatever you want to call
Mhm.
it, zoomed back into his reality, shouldn't have the little piece of Venom gone with him? Or
Yeah, it
like
actually.
why was there a little bit? Is it because
Yeah, well,
in the
that's what-
Venom movie, Carnage movie, Venom gets upset and leaves Eddie. He goes like to a bunch of, is like that the reason why?
No, I don't think so, man. I think what they're trying to play off of is so in Carnage. I know this already, and we know this from the comics also.
Right.
Is that Carnage is created from Venom,
The blood of Venom.
right?
Yeah.
So Venom like breaks off at different times. They're like, and I mean the actual
can,
like substance
he
actually
can, like,
breaks
give birth.
off, and like
It's how
symbiote.
it reproduces.
yeah.
It gives birth
So
to a new symbiote.
So
maybe he did.
There could have the argument at that bar, part of him came off.
Yeah.
But still, you're right. If everything, all of the parts of a person are being transported back, there's no reason that venom should still be there.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
actually not. It doesn't make any sense for it to be
So
there.
So here this is from Nerdist. It's about the Stinger and Carnage. It says, shimmering light. He appears in a swanky resort where the TV is airing English language broadcasts. That's when things go from interesting to world-shattering, multi-world shattering. That is, J. Jonah Jameson, the bald version, is now on TV hosting the Daily Bugle news talk show, and he's complaining about the Spider Menace from Spider-Man: Far From Home. So that was the Stinger. So
And they did say about
he leaves.
Did they say in I think it was Far From Home that they said that we haven't had something like this since that thing that happened in San Francisco, which is
No, you're thinking of the Morbius trailer.
That's what it
with
was.
Jared Leto, where they
Garbage.
say. But anyway,
Yeah.
Also not excited about that movie. But
It doesn't
no.
matter.
Regardless,
That's what I'm saying. Sony's blowing it
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know.
yeah. So they
I
leave.
don't like Morbius anyway.
So he left a little bit of the symbiote behind.
Yeah.
So maybe that's I mean, there have been talks about in the new Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland that they're going to introduce an MCU version of Venom,
They have to.
which
I
is
wouldn't
great.
mind it.
Well, no, they have to. Think
Yeah.
about this.
Well, now that it's there,
What villains are left for him to introduce?
Kingpin.
there's a good. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
No,
fair.
but Spider-Man's
But
got
no,
quite a few.
I know he's got a
Like-
big rogues gallery. Don't get me wrong, but unless
They're
they're
making
going
the
to
Craven movie, and
sure, but
they could
unless
bring
they're
him
going
in.
to
Yeah.
reintroduce some of those characters that we just saw, which I don't think would be wise, and I don't think they're
No.
going to.
No, there's
Venom's got to make its way in.
There's enough they could do. So
Venom's a big one. So
there's
they have to.
there's Venom. There's
If they
Venom.
didn't, they would be.
There's Carnage. There's Hobgoblin, which they've talked
Yeah.
about. We talked
Sure.
about Ned. Actually, Hobgoblin is probably going to be in the next trilogy, only because in the comics, Ned gets brainwashed and becomes the Hobgoblin.
Imagine if that actor becomes a Hobgoblin.
I
Right.
think that'd be hilarious.
That'd be
That'd be
awesome.
great. Well,
That'd
but
be
there's
really interesting.
there's
to see
a
how that
moment.
works.
There's a moment in this movie where Ned finds out that both of the other Spider-Man's
Yeah.
best friends became
Turned
bad
ba-
guys
yep.
and
Yep.
died or got put in prison. And so he goes
Yeah,
and he
Ned
tells,
goes right to him and
he
is
goes
like,
and tells
sorry.
"I won't become a
I will never
supervillain."
be a supervillain. It's like,
Yeah.
well, he's the
You
Hobgoblin in
might.
the comics. So there's Hobgoblin, there's Venom, there's Carnage, there's Craven, there's Black Cat, there's Silver Sable.
Yeah, but pause for a second there.
Yeah.
But we could say they're not going to do some of the ones that are from Sony.
Sure, so Venom.
Like
and
so
Carnage.
Venom, Carnage wouldn't be actually in that. So we'd
Right.
actually have to start introducing
But there's
other
only three.
ones.
There's 3 movies left, right? There-
unless
at this point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Hobgoblin, Black Cat, Silver Sable. That's 3 right there.
Sure, can they carry a
I
movie
don't even
by
know who Silver
themselves? The only
Sable
one
is.
the
Sil-
only one that I
Silver
believe
Sable-
could carry a movie by itself is Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin and Silver Sable could.
You
Silver
think
Sable
so?
is
Maybe
legit.
Craven too.
And
Who
Craven,
is
yeah,
Silver
Craven could.
Sable?
Yeah.
There's an entire like huge story arc about hunting the spider. Like there's a huge Craven story arc. They could
That's
do.
true.
There's
That's true.
lots-
Okay, I can
There's
get
stuff they
behind
could
that.
do, but she's like a spy. But
We
she's
don't
a
need
spy
another
assassin.
spy. We do
No, I
not
know.
need another
But
spy.
you were asking if
if
there's
they
enough.
introduce
if
another
there's-
spy.
What's
I'm
the
gonna
girl
leave
that
it
has
but
like
you
like
were
white
asking if there's enough.
pom-pom sleeves, kind of, that are like furry, in like a black suit, like
Oh,
kind of.
Black Cat. That's what I said.
That's
before.
Black Cat?
That's Black
Oh,
Cat.
okay.
I always forget.
And they
her
could
name.
introduce Black Cat, but she would be a love interest.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
wouldn't
and
be.
like a,
I remember
an
that from
anti-
like the video
an
games and
anti-hero.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. So Venom might be coming over, or most likely is.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's most likely not going to be Tom Hardy. So
Yeah.
we'll have to start thinking
Yeah.
about who we want them to be.
Yeah,
It's not
It's
Tom
tough.
Hardy.
That's
Yeah,
tough to
it's a
think
tough one.
about. Yeah.
All right, and then the second
It's not his
stinger
best role he's
is
ever done.
no, but he's fun. The first one.
Yeah.
The first one was fun.
No.
But
As an Eddie Brock, he's good, but
Yeah.
as,
Yeah.
nobody,
Yeah.
well, Venom is just a big CG yelly guy. Second stinger wasn't really a stinger. It was actually
it's a
the
full blown trailer.
It was the first time that happened
Yeah.
since the end of, what was it, Thor 2? I can't remember when
With
they
a
had the Avengers trailer
Yeah.
at the end
It's
of it.
been a
Or maybe
while.
it was Iron Man 2. I can't remember when it was.
It's legit when you get that. You
Yeah, but we
gotta
got a
love
full
that.
trailer for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, so
I
here's
know.
what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do right now.
Seems like madness.
Here's what I'm going to do right now. We're going to do a short episode solely on the Multiverse of Madness trailer because this episode is really long already.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
105 right
yeah.
now.
Oh yeah. So we'll do a short video just reacting to the Multiverse of Madness trailer.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll do that in the
sounds
next
good.
couple of weeks.
It's coming out soon.
Yep.
It'll be out there
Verdict
for you guys to
time.
talk about. So, yeah, it's great. Yeah, verdict. All right. You had questions for verdict.
Yeah,
Let's
I
do
just
it.
have one
What
question.
are you going to say?
So,
One question and one
personally,
question
I
only.
wait. Did you want us to rate it first and
Yeah,
then
give
you
me
want to
your
give the
ratings.
question?
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
Oh boy, you go first. You're a
Out of-
Spider-Man.
Out of
yeah.
10? Out of 10, is that what we're saying?
Out of 10.
So 10 being best movie ever,
Yes.
1 being... I got to know.
47.
No,
It
I'm
would
gonna-
have been a perfect 50.
I'm gonna say 9.8.
Really?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a really
'Cause
good.
I was
score.
probably just gonna give it a straight up 10.
I'm gonna say the
Wow.
only reason I'm saying 9.8 is
Good for
because the only reason I'm saying 9.8 is because I did want to see a Sinister Six. I did, and I
Yeah.
didn't get to see the sixth one, and
So
that was a little
that's why I said
disappointing.
I was gonna give it a straight
9.8.
up 10 because I
Yeah.
didn't really think about the Sinister Six.
Yeah,
and
say
that's a
9.8.
big drop, big ball to drop.
Yeah.
That's a big ball to drop. Also, the no now dig on this. That's
Yep.
that's a
Yep.
0.01.
But you know what?
Or 0.1.
They had so much riding on this, and they did probably 9.8% or
Yeah.
98%
That's
of
still,
what we
I mean,
wanted them to
that's
do,
still
Yeah.
really
which was
impressive. And
phenomenal.
it's still a really great movie.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's
just-
fantastic.
You
It's
want
bit-
certain things to
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
9.8
So,
for me.
Logan,
9.
9.
Oh,
I give it a
I would
solid
say
9.
it's in
That's
between
good.
9
Yeah,
and
yeah.
10 now because of the
Yeah.
things that we brought up, and also
Sure.
that why it is so high is I did not think that someone could actually make a storyline that would work this well with bringing people from the past movies
Agreed.
Right.
that have
Yeah.
no
Really
correlation
impressive.
just because
Really
that they're
impressive.
They
Spider-Man.
share the character names.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
impressive.
like bringing about all the Batmans and somehow redeeming Bat Nipples George Clooney.
Right.
Somehow
Right.
doing that.
How about it?
Would you watch that?
I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that?
Did you just watch this movie?
Yeah.
Did you just watch this
But the
movie?
thing is,
Are you
DC
kidding
would
me?
somehow screw it up.
Yeah.
DC
DC
screwed
would
it up.
mess it up.
You would
Hundo
be,
P.
you would be a little more tentative than
I would be
was.
so. That would be the most infuriated I'd ever been.
Probably.
DC, do it, please.
Oh my
Please
We
god.
need
do
to
it.
make an episode about this. All right,
Oh
what's
my
your
gosh.
comment that might change what
But
we
yeah.
say?
I was gonna say
Yeah.
if for some odd, dumb, biggest drop of the ball reason,
Was this all a dream?
no,
Oh, thank
That'd be
goodness.
terrible.
no. If for some reason they
Yeah.
didn't bring back Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, what would you rate it?
Oh,
It
so without
changes
that
a
whole-
lot,
well,
but
it
it also
changes too
doesn't
much.
change.
It changes too much.
It doesn't change too much. It really doesn't.
No, he could.
Because
he can
I'm
still
not
play
saying that
out
I'm
most
not
of it.
saying that the
Yeah.
Sinister Five don't come back. I'm saying
No, I hear you.
Just the
Tobey
two-
Maguire and just Andrew Garfield.
So,
And he
okay.
has
Which,
to
by the
figure
way,
out a
real
way-
quick, favorite scene of the whole movie is when all three of them, after they started fighting and they came back and they're like, okay, Peter Parker 1,
And they
Peter Parker
jump
2,
in.
whatever.
Yeah.
They jump in with their like
all their poses.
their poses. Dude, chills down my
See,
spine.
I had bigger chills. I had bigger chills
Come on.
when it was just Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Their shadows
shadows.
coming down off of the rooftop.
That was
Yeah.
good.
I had
was
bigger
good.
chills then.
Okay.
So
So-
the way you framed it though.
Yes. I
So
also have one more
Interesting
quick
question.
question.
let's say let me just if I can let me add a
Yes.
little bit to it. If you remove those two,
Yeah.
and just make Doctor Strange more of a presence in the final battle because Toby would
cheating, but
probably
okay.
need help.
He couldn't. He
No, but
couldn't do
that's-
it by himself.
Well, right.
Yeah.
The trailer kind of promoted that Doctor Strange was a much bigger force than he
Yeah.
really was in the movie. He was stuck in the mirror dimension for most of the movie.
I kind of like that he was, but yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but
I like that
so,
it was, but it worked because there was
Yeah.
there were other
Right.
Spider-Man
So
behind
that
it.
anyway,
would
that
have
being
to be the
said-
case. I'd say I would probably give it because the story was still really great. I'd say I would probably give it like a 7.5.
Simple. That's solid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Logan?
I'd say I'd probably because it still would be a really good movie.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I would
I would give
probably
it a
still be
7.5.
around there. I'd probably. I would
Just
probably
remember, we
between
pretty much
the-
all rated like Black Widow at like 6.5.
I would
so,
probably put it at. I would probably put
Oh
it at.
yeah, maybe an 8.
yeah.
Maybe an 8.
Yeah, I
It
think
was-
I
it
think
was
a
still a
fair.
great
It was
movie.
still a good
My
movie.
fair. I think it
Absolutely.
drops.
Yeah.
I think it does drop 2 points.
Because
I
it's
think
still
it drops to a
it's
7.
still it's
Yeah.
still
I think
Willem
if I had a
Dafoe.
9, I drop it to a
It's
7.
still Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
it's true.
mean,
Willem
there's
Dafoe.
Willem
still.
Dafoe was
I-
almost as good as seeing Toby and Andrew.
I agree. I
I'd say,
agree.
yeah.
But I think
Very
I
impressive.
think it's
Yeah.
a hard. It's a hard sell
Yeah, it's
for
tough 'cause
me,
we
It
haven't-
is.
and it's
we
hard to
can't
figure
not-
out.
Because you have that taste of those two in
And
there.
you
Right,
can't not.
right.
You
And
can't
so,
not remember that.
But I
It's
do
just
think
so
it
good.
drops because of
Yeah.
that. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's where it would drop for 2 full points for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you do all of that and then you don't bring those 2 back, I'm
Right.
going to be frustrated,
Right, what are you
disappointed, and
doing?
upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
I'm now going to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You brought all of these people back,
Yeah.
but not that.
and not those two.
Yeah.
Right.
Where am I?
Yeah.
Is this not
Right.
Disney? Can you not throw money at anything?
Yeah.
they can.
And can you not
they
just
can
bring people
buy-
back from the
I'm
dead?
sorry. Yeah,
You know,
I would be
have
like
you seen-
so 7. 7 would.
Seven.
I
Have-
feel really confident.
I would
in
agree
a
with that.
7 now.
Probably
Have
7.
you seen that? So Andrew Garfield was promoting. We talked about this in another podcast as well. But Andrew Garfield was promoting so many movies.
Yeah,
He had like
yeah.
he had multiple
I remember
movies
you
come out.
saying this. Yeah.
And he's in interview after interview after interview after interview, and he's just denying, right? And then I didn't see this, but Tobey Maguire was like,
Yeah.
he was in a park, and he took a selfie with a dude. The dude was like, "Hey, can I have a selfie?" He took a selfie with him, and he just told the dude, "I'm in the new Spider-Man movie."
That's so funny.
And no one believed.
Yeah, okay,
this
sure,
dude.
tugboat.
Right.
All right.
Well, no, this dude like posted about it,
Okay,
and
Toby.
Toby.
nobody believed him. But he
Yeah,
was like,
no kidding.
He's like, took a picture. He's like, "I'm in the new Spider-Man movie."
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
movie.
Just-
That's funny.
There's a whole bunch of people that are like, Did you hear it?
Right.
Tobey Maguire thinks he's still Spider-Man.
I was Spider-Man in my day.
when you were still a twinkle in your father's
Okay,
eye.
Toby, let's get back into your
Toby,
room.
That's exactly.
Get back downstairs in the basement.
No, I fought a
Yeah.
dude with a bone saw arm.
But real quick,
Yes.
I stand by my statement that I made, I think, in a past, probably the last Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I still think Tobey Maguire has the best and coolest looking suit.
Yeah, agreed.
His suit is
We
legit.
talked about this at the end, though.
I'm
we talked
with
about
you
this at
on
the
that.
end. The only one I think that could top it is
Yes,
the one
this is a good point.
that
The
Tom
very end.
Holland finishes in, which is the
Yeah,
original.
because it doesn't have any like Tony
costume.
Stark in
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah, it's
stuff
the
like that.
and it's the original color scheme and layout and everything. And
Yeah.
it looks so wonderful to see on the screen. But I would still say
It's a very like blue.
I
and
agree.
blue
Yeah,
and-
it's that
It's this
primary
blue.
blue
But,
and
like,
red.
It's this blue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this blue.
It's blue,
No,
yep.
this is Ben. This is a clone. But regardless, Scarlet Spider.
Regardless,
I'm still saying it's that close.
Yes,
well,
it's
I'm
this-
colorblind, so what do I
We're
we're
know?
both colorblind.
What do I know?
Yeah. But
When I see blue, it looks like that.
more that
Wait, that's not black.
still good. I would agree with you though. Toby's suit is so,
It's so good.
with
Yeah.
the raised webbing and everything.
Yes, the raised webbing is what makes it.
They-
And
they-
like
Oh,
They made it
the,
perfect.
sounds stupid,
Sick.
but like the
They made it
glimmer, kind of like
Yeah.
the gloss almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a perfect
amazing.
suit.
It was
It's
the
perfect.
And his
best
eye, like the
suit.
eyes are like
Eyes are super
very
cool.
they're bigger, but they're not too big. Where they're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Right.
little too big.
Which is just in the
and
comics
then like
though.
the ones that like open and close are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
With the
I-
Stark tech, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a lot. It's cool. I'm all
Yeah.
about the
They
gadgets.
did a really good job with
but
all of them.
it's a little too much.
They
Yeah,
did a
they
really
were
good
all
job
really
with all
cool.
of them.
But I
Like,
would
all
agree,
of-
yes.
There's
Toby's the best.
There is not a bat nipples suit
You
out
are
there
correct.
for Spider-Man.
It's
They,
true.
they really did a good job
Even
of thinking
he-
through all
Yeah.
of the suits.
Well, that's 'cause
for
it's
all of them.
Marvel.
I just love the fact I just love the fact that we were like, oh, he's got like a black suit that's magic, and he just turned his suit inside out because
Yeah.
he couldn't clean it.
Yeah.
And it still looked
Great.
really
Yeah.
cool. It still looked
was
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
But it was just the inside out like ribbing.
Turn
of
it
the suit.
around.
Yeah, hey man, he's a high school kid. He
That's
doesn't.
true.
He doesn't know how to
True.
clean stuff.
Duct tape a camera
Thanks
to
for
him.
cleaning.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
for
He
cleaning it.
duct taped the phone to his chest so
Yeah,
that
that was
people could
funny.
see. It's like, yo, he's a high school kid,
Yep.
man. Like that makes total sense. That's
Yep.
what I would do.
Tom Holland is
Yep.
a very well balanced Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
He is.
Peter Parker.
He
Yes. Yeah, we've talked about it before with Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yep.
I think Tom Holland is the best.
Even with
balance.
Andrew Garfield, he's a good Spider-Man with the rapport,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
like,
yeah.
coming back and forth with the comments.
Yeah, he's
Peter Parker's
terrible Peter Parker.
he may look
Yeah.
like he's older, which I
Yeah, he's
don't
alright.
really think he does, but a
alright.
lot of people do. But I think he was a good Peter Parker, very nerdy, kind of like off-putish.
He's
No.
he's
I
the-
think he
he
is.
came in with the Thrasher T-shirt.
No, he was the cool
Or
kid
no,
in
the-
school
what
that
kind
did
of
Talk about
shirt is that?
Toby.
Oh, no, I thought you
I
were
thought
talking
you
about
said
Andrew.
Andrew Garfield.
I said, but then wait.
No,
I
you
said,
never
Okay,
said
well,
that.
then I
You
said.
never said
I
Toby.
said. Then I meant.
Okay,
But he was.
I
I
would
was
agree.
saying
Okay,
Andrew Garfield was
all
a
right.
bad.
Spider-Man.
No,
Peter
no,
Parker.
No.
Peter Parker.
This
Toby
has gone
was
on
a
too
good
long.
We've been here
Guys,
too
we have
long.
been doing
Good.
this too long.
Movie was good.
Movie good.
Go see it.
Movie good.
Yes.
Movie good.
Nice.
Spider-Man.
Dig on this.
Spider-Man.
Spooderman.
Spider-Man. Want to go watch the movie again?
Yeah, I'll go see it right
Let's
now.
do it.
Thanks for listening to the Legion of Comic Correction. Don't forget to check out our other episodes streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on the major social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Legion of Comic Correction.
That's right. And make sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive supporter specials at patreon.com/Legion of CC. New episodes come out every week. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, same Legion.